We are live on Zoom, and good morning and welcome again to the analysis webinar, so the Forex and cryptocurrency analysis webinar. I'm just welcoming the guys on Zoom webinar this side here. All right, so we get started here now. Look out for the timestamps. It works perfectly, and on the description of the video, if you want any analysis on any pair, you just click on it and it starts exactly where the analysis is of that pair starts. The video is about 1.5 hours, so you don't want to go through 1.5 hours of the stuff that you want to look at or toggle around and search for pairs. All you do is you just go to a specific chart that you're looking for. If it's a cryptocurrency that you're looking for, Bitcoin and all those cryptocurrencies that we're looking at, you just click on it and it comes up, or exactly where the analysis starts. All right, so that works perfectly. Even you myself use it sometimes when I do my analysis and I get a bit stuck. So I just go back, refer. And the nice thing about these videos, you can refer as far back as 7 months ago from when I started. Some of the analyses are still valid because some of them are long term. Okay, so as for the course, you can just send me an email and I'll give you details on the course. Even if you're not interested in joining up now, you can just send me an email just to get information as to what we cover, because I do not have enough time to talk about the course here. Right, so, but briefly about the course, the next one I think is going to be on the 9th of April to the 13th of April. The cost currently is $529 US. The price will be going up after the April course. So send me an email if you want more information on the course. And my contact details are on the description. Right, so what we are doing here is to focus on the chart and not talk about anything else. So let's get into the charts. As always, I'll start with the correlation between Euro US dollar and the dollar index. Okay. So as I was saying earlier, most people understand the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC that they read on the internet. And to be honest, a lot of stuff on the internet is a lot of nonsense. And that is why most people read the Elliott Wave theory from the internet and they still can't apply it. And still, people still want to take their money and apply the strategy which they do not have full knowledge of. That is a good recipe to blow up your account. So you need to understand this properly. So I was saying earlier for the YouTube, because I started live on YouTube, that if you want me to listen to you, to take you seriously as a Elliott Waver, be a master of corrections. So if you send me a chart with a correction that is labeled properly, then I tend to listen. But if you just send me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stuff, it doesn't interest me, because that stuff is only 5 or 10% of the time, you know? But in any case, we've got a clear, nice one here that we want to look at. So the top chart is Euro US dollar. If you can see clearly, Euro USD. And the bottom chart is the DXY, the dollar index. So you can see there is inverse correlation between the two pairs. So last week we discussed that I'm looking at these pairs. Please hold on a second. Let's see if I am sharing my chart here. It looks like I'm not sharing my screen on YouTube. Okay, I think it's sorted now. It's $529 US. And we have mentorship for 2 years with daily webinars every single day in our group. All right, so send me an email and I'll talk about the course on the email. All right, so Euro US dollar and the dollar index. Right here on this swing, we can see that this swing starts here with a 1 impulse in the correction. Similarly, on the dollar index, you've got an impulse here. That is the end of the previous swing. It ends here. You get an impulse in the correction. From there, we're getting this 1, 2, 3, 4, and the correction, which is 4. Similarly, here we get 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Do that one clearly, 5 and a 5 here. Okay, so after the 5, what do you expect? This is a 5 internally. So now we're looking for this 4 in the higher degree. We're looking for this 4 in the higher degree. This is the one that we're going to focus on today. 4. Similarly, you're getting a 4 in the higher degree. So you've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3, you got 4, and then we're going to be looking for a 5. We're still waiting for the push higher. We're still waiting for the push lower. 1, 2. So do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easy. Textbook stuff. Okay. Textbook stuff is easy. If you wanted to label internally, you'll have this as a 1, lower degree, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Right? So I'm just not going to put a 5 in there just to avoid cluttering in the chart. 3, 4, and then 5. Easy like that. So we know that whatever we're building here, as I said last week, the market is going to be in a correction for a couple of days. You saw that nothing happened last week. All right, so let's go back in. Now I'm going to go only to the Euro US dollar and just look at this. So just take note that everything that's happening on the Euro US dollar pair is a complete inverse on dollar index because they're inversely correlated. All right, so I'm just going to go into Euro US dollar. Okay. So this is Euro US dollar. Similar structure, if you all remember now, this is that structure, wave 4 that we're looking for. So that's the one that I want to focus on now. All right, so yes, last week I showed you the correlation between these pairs and fractals, actually fractals on this pair alone. So structures that are exactly the same that have happened before in this pair. So I'm going to show you those structures again. But before that, let me just show you what I mean by we're going to have, we're still having sideways correction. So I'm going to go into the 4 hour and look at that correction. This last piece here. We usually spend quite a bit more time on Euro US dollar, one of the most traded pairs. So look where we were last week. Last week we were here. We were here last week. Where are we this week? Exactly where we started. So this pair went 100 pips up and it went 100 pips down. So nothing happened in the last week. Zero. Nothing. So this is why you do not want to trade in a market like this. You know, no position is actually a position as well. All right, so let's look at those fractals again. I'm going to show you a number of fractals and we're going to discuss them again. I'm going to go to the daily. Actually the weekly first and show you things that are so amazing. Now I'm on the chart every single day for hours and I see these things. All right, so last week we discussed this piece here on the weekly. We're going to look at it again. Just make note, this is on the weekly, you'll see the exact same thing happening in other degrees. So what you have here is an impulse down, corrective structure back, and a down. What happens is it pulls back sharply. After pulling back sharply, it goes down again, pulls back sharply again, and then it goes down, and then it slows down like that. After slowing down like that, it changes the direction. Okay, so I'm not going to take that off. I'm just going to go into the lower time frame, like the 4 hour. Just forget about this structure for now. Let's look at the next one. 4 hour. You'll see that the exact same thing happens in other degrees as well. So remember, this was that impulse that was coming from from the swing low coming to the swing high. Similarly here now, watch what is happening here. This is the 4 hour now. Okay, so on the 4 hour, you've got this swing. Excuse this, guys, I can't take it off. If I take it off, you won't be able to refer to it later. Right, so we've got this impulse down. So you can see that this structure starts with a move down, with a move up, and a move down, right? What does it do? This is what I showed you last week. You get a sharp pullback. After the sharp pullback, what do you get? You get a move down. Okay, you get a move down. After the move down, what do you get? The sharp pullback, right? That's what we expect. We get that sharp pullback again. After that sharp pullback, we get the big one down, which is this one. We get the big one down. We get a big one down. Like, just need to draw it clearly. We get a big one down. What does it do? It slows down like that, gives us this structure. That's number 2. Another one. Similarly, pullback. 1, 2, 3, pullback. Okay. Down, pullback. Down, slow down. Okay, what does it do? Changes direction. That same structure, down, changes direction. This one down, then the direction changes all the way. Okay, that is, look at that structure. Just I should have done this one with the red color. I've done this last week already. So this is hindsight, guys. This is hindsight. We're looking at this in hindsight. This does not matter. This has already played out. In the life of a trader, what matters is the right-hand side of the chart. This is the left-hand side of the chart. It has happened. You're not going to do anything about it. But this is giving us direction as to what the market is doing ahead. What if you find a structure that is doing exactly the same thing in the next structure? For example, what if you had something like a 1, 2, 3 here, but this piece has not happened? This piece has not happened. Wouldn't you want to trade this exactly the same way as you've traded the rest? Okay, we're only looking at fractals here, not even just the wave theory, the structures that we've learned in the wave theory, but we know all these structures. If we're to put in the labelings here, it will make exact, it will follow the structures that we learned from the wave theory. So this is the left-hand side. Now how do we focus the right-hand side? Let's look at the right-hand side now. Look at the latest piece here that I was looking at. Remember, this is where we are today. This is where we are today. So this is the one. You can already see it. Now you can see it because you've seen the structures that are similar and you can see the same thing happening again. So you've got a 1, 2, 3. This is where we are today. You've got a pullback, sharp pullback. Last week we were here. Last week we were here. So we wanted, which one did we want? We had this one already and the down. So we wanted this piece. This is what happened last week. Last week we had the up, we had the down. Okay, so if this is the down, looking at the structure, we expect this to carry on with the down move, the bigger one, because this is the bigger one. After the second one, you get a bigger one that is going to slow down somewhere. Okay, so that is what we'll be looking at. So you'll be looking for a structure like this, where you pull up, pull back sharply. We have already done this, and now we're getting this one. So what we're expecting here is that if this starts giving us, and I'm going to show you something very interesting on this one here. If this starts giving us another pullback here, a correction here, we are going for this one. We're going for this one that is going to slow down and correct. I'm just running out of space here. That's the one we're going to be looking at. So that is what we're looking at on Euro US dollar. Right, so that is that next structure. This one is incomplete. If I take off the chart, you can see that is the structure that we're looking at. So if we're looking at that, we are looking for this piece to go down, right? Similar to what we have here, and we get a slowdown. If it slows down, that's when we're going to be reversing. So what are we looking to wait? What are we waiting for next week? We need to see if we get a correction like that. If we get any correction in the lower degree to show any type of continuation, we know that that's what we're getting. Because this is the one that we bought in our group. We were not interested in this one because we know that's just going to be a sharp pullback. Okay, so I don't want to complicate it because there's another one that happened last week. You see here, you had a move up. For those that can follow, you had a move up, and the same thing was happening here in the lower degree. So what could happen here, your correction that you're waiting for could happen in a sharp impulse. Okay, and if it happens in a sharp impulse like that, it will come down. It will pull back, it will come down, slows down, and reverse back up to form a bigger one. So if we just remove the chart here, you see exactly the same thing happening over and over again. This is fractals. This happens all the time. And you'll see as you do other charts that the market keeps repeating itself. Okay, it always repeats itself. So that's what we're going to be looking at on Euro US dollar. I'm going to clear out of all of this. That's fractals. Okay, so wait for it to give you a correction or even a pullback like that. That will be a corrective structure to show that we're getting that move down. Okay, so that move down could even be what you could even have here. So remember, this is your wave 4. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. What we're getting here could be an X, 1. There's a possibility that we can even have this one doing this. So we're going to wait to see which one happens. Any correction here will tell us downside. Impulse up will tell us upside. Okay, so see, we can already focus which one is going to happen. But the one that I'm more inclined to is this one, carrying on with this move down here, doing this, giving us this one, giving us this one, giving us 1, 2, 3, in between 1, 2, 3, giving us a huge correction. That's what I said last week. We were expecting a big sideways correction. That's why the market did not do anything. So you need to know when to trade as well. That's what I said last week. Nothing happened last week. You had only 100 pip move up the whole week. Okay, so what will this be now? This will be first correction, second correction, third correction. The whole week, nothing happened. Only 100 pip move. Some pairs are even worse. Okay, so let's look at the rest. That's Euro US dollar. Now let's do US dollar CAD. We do all the US dollar pairs first. Okay, let's look at US dollar CAD. So US dollar CAD is a very interesting pair. I think 3 weeks ago I did a detailed analysis on this on one of the webinars. Just scroll back and look. Okay. So this is the structure that we were looking at. If you look at the whole structure, you can see that we got this one, impulse down. We're getting this as a correction. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're actually looking for this to come into the blue box area. Okay, we are not so far from the blue box. So simply what we're having here is what most of you will just call an ABC, right? But right now that ABC is not, it looks like it's not complete as yet, but it's very close. So that blue box is projected with fibs. That's something that we do in the group. We don't do it here. So we want this here, not that one. Remember the truncated C wave here, which is that correction. And if you wanted to project this without using the fib, this is what you do. You will see that this comes exactly there. So we also understand how fibs are projected. See, all right, so anywhere around this blue box area, anything can happen. And what could happen? You can come in here and reverse back all the way, or you can just get a 3-wave pullback for continuation. Either way, when you get into the bull box, we'll sell. After confirmation, we get in here, we're gonna sell, because if we're gonna get a sell here and then it goes all the way down here, we're going to get many pips. But if we sell and then it starts doing this 3-wave correction, we're gonna see it, and we're gonna get out and wait for it to give us the structure, which we're gonna buy here. Okay, so what are we waiting for here? It is very close to this blue box. So only thing that you want to wait for is if it gives you a correction here on the lower time frame to show continuation, but this continuation will not go far. That's US dollar CAD on the daily. So on the 4-hour, if you look on the 4-hour, we've got a very interesting structure, very clear structure, which I've shown you. This webinars here, you've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3, you've got 4, you've got 5. That is why I'm saying you're gonna have a 1, 2, 3, possibly pullback, a deep pullback, if you're gonna have any kind of continuation to the upside. Okay, so it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. That's the stuff that everyone knows. But remember, this ABC can be any type of correction. Any of these 5 corrections that have been described in the wave theory. Okay? So it does not have to be a zigzag. It can be a flat, a triangle, or whichever continuation pattern it is. Or it can come down all the way down. Okay, so that's US dollar CAD. You are going to wait. Let's see what the indicator looks like there. If you're getting any kind of divergence. Let's see, we are not really getting any divergence. So because you're supposed to get divergence between these 2 points, you're not getting any divergence between those 2 points. The indicator is just going straight. So this may still continue a bit further. Okay, so US dollar CAD, no new trade, only continuation to the upside until you get indication of a reversal. Pound US dollar, let's get all of that off. Pound US dollar is a very interesting one. This is a beautiful chart. Like, before we do that, let's look at the overall chart. So I was saying earlier, if you want to show me how good you are with the wave theory, right? So because some people try to send me charts trying to impress me. If you want to show me how good you are, show me an analysis on this thing. Show me an analysis on this. This is a corrective structure. You don't see a 1, 2, 3 here. You'll be lying if you put in any 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s here. Okay, because that's, what about this? What about that? What about that? Okay, so somebody who knows their wave structure and understands the wave structure, and they've done the basics of all the corrective structures with the rules, they've got a different eye to what most people look at the chart as. So let me show you how I look at this chart. And it does not, I don't spend hours trying to look at this, because I do this every day, and this is just right in front of my eyes. No, like I see here, you've got a passing move to the upside, okay, and then you get a corrective move, and then you've got another move here. So what you have is a WXY in the first one. After that, you're getting another structure. This looks like a zigzag. After that, you're getting a running flat. You get a running flat. After that, you're getting a 1, a 2, and a 3. Now you've got a zigzag. So those who like to put in a lot of letters in their charts will do this. This is a W, which is the first structure. This is a X, second structure. This is a Y. Okay, simple. Now you get that aha moment because I've done it. But before that, you couldn't see it because your eye is not trained, because you don't know how the structures interlink with each other. So what you have is a simple WXY. So if you wanted to label even the internals, this will be your WXY internally, and a whole lot of letters which don't really matter. We don't really focus on that stuff, on those details. I've got the details here on the chart. Let me just check here. You see, I've got the detailed labelings here. This is just to guide me in terms of my analysis, to relate all the degrees. It doesn't mean that if I don't put in numbers, I won't be able to trade this. Okay, so now, what are the possibilities here? The possibilities is that this could be a structure like that, giving you another X, possibly. There's 2 things that could be happening here. Maybe another X for another Z. But at the same time, this could be a bigger structure. This could be a bigger W. This bigger W representing 1, 2, 3 understanding degrees. And if that is the case, this X is going to be much bigger than that. And then you're going to get a much bigger move to the upside. Okay, so those are the 2 things that we are waiting for. And it's simple to know which one it's going to be. Because right now, if this breaks to the upside here, we know that the structure is going to be WXY XZ. Simple like that. Okay. Okay, so that's how we're looking at it. I see Chris is asking a question. It's very difficult for me to answer that question in 2 lines. And it's not about the yellow lines. Okay, so what are we looking for? Similar to all the other US dollar quoted pairs, you've got this sideways correction. Remember, Euro US dollar, sideways correction. So this could be coming back down here. 1, 2, 3. maybe another 1, 2, 3 here. But what we're going to wait for is for this to break to the upside, because we're going to get a strong move to the upside after that. Okay. All right. All right. So that is pound US dollar. Let's do the rest of the dollar pairs. Look at US dollar chief. So US dollar chief, if you look at that last 3-wave move, there's that last 3-wave move that we're looking at here. So 1, 2, 3. But here internally, you can see that we've got 1, we've got 2, you've got 3, you've got 4, 5. So right now we are making this correction here. Okay, we're making this correction. So let's go into that correction and see what this is going to play out like. So if you look at this in the 4-hour, so the structure here tells you whether you're getting continuation to the up, continuation, or you're just getting a pullback. So here you've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3. So you see, just to show you that I'm not just putting in lines here, and you can see that I'm pushing line through the peaks. This is just lower degree, this is this lower degree. So this will possibly come up to this level before you have any kind of reversal. And that reversal could even be something like this. If it gives you something like that, you can even get something like that, giving you a correction like that for continuation to the downside. This will be a flat correction. Right now you are here. What you're gonna do is wait for this to break to the downside. Wait for this to break to the downside. If it breaks to the downside, then you're gonna get this trade to the downside. Okay, let's check if we've got divergence. Yes, we've got divergence. Other side showing divergence, make this showing divergence. Okay, so we are getting divergence, so we will reverse here. We will get the move to the downside. So this structure here is corrective, as you can see. Wait for it to break to the downside. You're gonna get a trade minimum to this level. If it carries on, then you're in a trade for a very good entry. Okay. All right, that's US dollar chief, Audi. Let's look at Audi on the daily first. Audi, there's a big move to the upside that's gonna come in the next couple of days. Not tomorrow, as I said last week that it's not gonna happen in the next week, or it will happen in a couple of days, because it's forming a structure that we've traded far so often. So this here is a V pattern. We've got an impulsive move down, we've got a pullback. Now we're making this one here. So I'm not expecting this to continue all the way down. So there may be some kind of a pullback here, but that pullback couldn't just be forming this structure. But overall, watch this structure with divergence. It's going to come back up here, minimum this level. And remember, this is not a short move. It's not a small move, because this is a daily. This is a daily structure. So that's not a small move at all. So if you have to measure that, let's just check how many pips you'll get here. And I'll show you another structure that one of our traders posted exactly the same as this one. 321 pips if you get this trade here on breakout. Okay, so you need to keep an eye on this one. I'm not trading this to the downside. I'm not trading euro to the downside. I'm not trading pound to the downside. I'm waiting for the big move up. In fact, I have not been trading much last week on this pairs. So when that happens, I go to the pairs that most people don't really trade, and I'm going to show you which ones at the end of as the webinar continues. So Audi, expect reversal here to continue within this structure. Continue within this structure. Maybe come down here. Possibility of a pullback and a down before we get this move. Okay. New Zealand, similar. All right. So look at New Zealand and look at Euro US dollar. It's exactly the same structure. Let's do this. Let's do that so we can show both structures. So this is New Zealand, and this side I'm going to put in Euro US dollar so we can see the correlation between these structures. Let's go to the 4-hour on both. you can see that we've got exactly the same structure. 1, 2, 3, pull back. 1, 2, 3, pull back. We've already started the down move. This one is impulsive, can reverse or pull back for a continuation to the downside. Remember the structure that we were looking at when we started? Right, so if we get that structure down here at the bottom, then we know that we're getting our big move to the downside. Right now, we're trading this down because this move down currently is impulsive. Okay, so all these structures are clearly the same. Okay, that's Euro again. So let's go back to the one chart. So Euro, New Zealand, same, Audi we've done. So the structures are all correcting. Let's also do gold here because gold, New Zealand, and Audi are correlated. So let's just do gold. You'll see a similar structure as well. Okay. So gold is just a bit different, but the structure is still doing the same. You can see that we on all the structures we've got to move down, we've got to move up, we've got to move down. Okay, we've got a pullback. This is all the same. You got to move down, you got to pull back and move down. Okay, so what we're gonna wait for is continuation to the downside, or this can make this move here. If it makes this move, it does not change the structure. It's still a corrective structure. It's just that this will be now, you're gonna get another three-wave structure before you get a big move to the upside, and that will be WXY, and you will have that as a big corrective structure. And the bigger the correction, the bigger the move, the pulsing move after the correction. So when it's big like this, it requires patience. It requires you to protect your account so that when these big moves come, you've got enough money to put in the big lots. Okay, so that's what we're waiting for here. That's gold. All right, so let's do the US dollar ZAR as well. I tend to do US dollar ZAR with the rest of the US dollar pairs. US dollar ZAR, I mentioned last week that look out for the move up. Now we've got the move up, and now we're getting the correction. So this is the move up that we got, and now we're getting this correction here. We're getting this correction here. Okay, so we've got this one here. So expect a move at least similar in size to this one up to here. Okay, why am I only targeting here around the 1230 area? Because there's a possibility this can do this, do that, come back up, and continue to the downside. Remember, we're looking at 9 ZAR to the dollar on this pair. Okay, there are two structures on this. Let me just show you again. So I know some have just started watching the channel and they have not watched the old videos. So you must do yourself a favor and watch some of the old videos. They are still very relevant on some of the long-term structures. So here, there's two things that could happen. You've got one, you've got two. I need to put it up where I can get enough space. Okay, you've got here 1, 2, and you expect a move similar in size to this one to come down here, and that is around the 9 ZAR area. Okay, this area. My screen has frozen. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I don't know how that's going to affect the guys on YouTube. This has happened before, and when my screen just gets frozen like that. Just give me a second, guys. All right, welcome back. Let's carry on. We were looking at US dollar ZAR. We're looking at US dollar ZAR. So I'm still showing you the two options on US dollar ZAR, the possibilities. So as I was still saying, please do yourself a favor and watch the previous videos. They're still very relevant and they're still playing out, most of them. Let's get this one going. Right, so this is the two options on US dollar ZAR. give myself space there. Clear. 1, 2. So possibility is that this will be the same size as that, and that is at the 9 ZAR area, as you can see. But that's not the only thing that could happen. So this could, remember now we've got an impulse, and the market does not go like this. It does not go like, you can see here, you get down, pullbacks, down, pullbacks, down. You know? So that's how the market moves. You get these pullbacks. So typically what could happen here is you could get this as a pullback, and then you're going to get this move to the downside. Or even if it's not that, you could get this to do that, come retest the top there, come back down, and give you this as a first correction. The first one is a first correction. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and all of that will be a simple three-wave structure. Okay, so in this case, if it gives us this structure, we don't know how far it's gonna go, if it's gonna give us a regular flat. First, it has to turn, then we will know. Okay, so if it turns, then we know that that's the move that we're going to be expecting. So you can see that this structure is similar to the cryptocurrency structure. You get a parabolic move like that. It's a big parabolic move. Everything that has been happening since 1st January 2016 has been a correction. This is just a correction. We know that it's not going to last forever. It's going to take time, but when it pulls out of here, it will move with a strong move. Okay, so the bigger the correction, the bigger the move. So that's what we're going to be looking at on US dollar ZAR. Okay, let's look at US dollar JPY. US dollar JPY. Let's put it up. I didn't leave out any US dollar pair, right? US dollar ZAR. Okay, guys, I see you've got a lot of questions, but if I start answering the questions, I'm not going to finish the webinar. So this is not an educational webinar, guys. It's not because I don't want to give anything away. I really don't mind. It's just that we've got limited time to cover over 40 pairs here. So let's look at US dollar JPY. You still have that correction here in the middle. You've got an impulse. You've got this. You've got a correction in the middle. And then you're getting this move here. What is that correction here? You've got a expanding flat in the middle of a flat correction. See here, let's do this one in green. 1, 2, 3. See, so this is your A, B, C in green. And lower degree, you've got another A, B, C as well. If we were to label this one, this is another A, B, C, but in lower degree. You can see that underneath here, we've got an expanding flat. It's a complex B wave correction. So if we were to put in labelings and everything here, this will be your first A. It's not actually an A. I'm just putting it as an A for ease of those who don't understand the wave theory. It's not really an A, but it's a B and then a C. All right, so this C, let's look at this C here. It's an impulsive structure. Let's look at that impulsive structure there. And this one is starting to give us a very interesting structure. I'm starting to like it very much. All right, so before we do that, let's just look at the blue box, how we've projected that. It is around the 1.4 area. So we are still looking for this to come down to the 1.4 area around here. Okay. So let me show you before I go into the lower time frame. Here you've got a 1, 2, 3. We're looking at this as a 4, and this 5 may end as a diagonal. And I love diagonals because they shoot with a strong move up. So you'll possibly get, my mouse has misbehaved. You will possibly get same move as this one when this starts going. And you can see how many pips that move is, because all of this since January 2017 has just been a correcting this move. So after the impulse is a correction, and after correction you get a similar impulse. So we'll be looking for this move. We're actually waiting for this move to the upside. Okay, so now let's look at this piece here. So to focus this move, we need to know where this piece ends. We need to know where the reversal is. So the reversal here we've projected around this area. Okay, so I'm going to clear everything and just focus on that area. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's switch everything off there. So look at this last piece here. I'm just struggling to see this. I'm not used to this small screen. I'm only looking at my laptop right now because my screen got frozen. So we've got impulse and move, pull back here. And we're looking at this as an internal one. Impulse, flat, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you can see that's 1, that's 2 internally, that's 3. And there are rules for this. As I said, we spend the whole day of the course just looking at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure. Okay. So this here, if this is the case, then this is your 1, higher degree, 2, 3. If this is going to be our 4 now, then this 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 may end as a diagonal. It's very premature to focus the diagonal here, but let's keep an eye. If it does happen, guys, you've got a very strong move to the upside. It has not happened yet. It's not ready yet. As you can see, that we still have a couple of we still need to get a couple of moves to complete this structure. But if it does happen, you've got a very big move to the upside. This is the one that I'm waiting for. Okay, and that move may take us into the blue box around the 104. If you can see here, see that. Let me just get this off. If you can see there, it's around into the 104 area. So this may get into the 104. So those who know diagonals, you will know that diagonals with 5 of a diagonal can even push lower out of this boundary. But we know when it pushes lower, it's going to come back up. Some call it an overshoot. So that's what you're going to be looking at on US dollar JPY. Okay, so a number of possibilities there. So there's a possibility even for this to, because this looks like a buy setup for now, to just come and retest there before coming down. So let's wait and see which structure develops there. But when it comes, if it makes that ending diagonal there, we're going to be in a very good trade. Okay, let's do the rest of the yen pairs. EURJPY, if we go to the daily, show you what we're looking at. Overall structure, you see that we've got this correction, big one. So I said last week that I want a big corrective structure here. Maybe this one pushes up here, okay, comes back down here. So the only thing that you don't know here is the kind of structure that it's gonna form. So what it did last week is we got a 3-wave move up, and then now it's coming down. Okay, now I need to go into the lower time frame. So you can see here it had these smaller time frame corrections, these ones. So now we're coming down. We need this big one. Why do I want this big one? Let's go there. Why do I want this big one? Something similar to this, because then that will propel it to the upside. I still have a target of 150 on this pair. Let's go to the 4 hour. So this is that move. As you can see, I was looking for, we got a 3-wave move. It's small. I wanted a bigger one, a bigger correction. But this does not say anything. So this is an impulsive move down. So this can do this, come back down, come back up, and continue to the downside. That will still be giving us that big correction that we're seeing in the first one here for a move up. Okay? All right, so if there's any questions about the course or anything, the guys that are in my premium group, you're welcome to answer the questions, guys. I don't have time to answer here while I'm busy here with the analysis. Okay, thanks for your assistance. Right, so that's what we're going to be looking at. We are currently bearish up until this level at least. Any correction here, you take it down to this level. So you need to be careful when you get to this level. You're very close to that level, so you need to wait for a deeper correction here on EURJPY. Okay, CHFJPY. I actually don't like the yens much for the week ahead. The structure is not very clear. So you can see here, also the same thing, 3-wave pullback and then move down. So this one has broken. You see, this one has broken, but EURJPY has not. So you would expect that EURJPY will actually break. Let's see if I can get them on one chart. Let's see if we can get both charts on one. I'm gonna put chief this side, and this is important, very important correlation. So this one, as you can see, they both had the same moves. You can see the structure was the same. Only difference is that now chief has made a 3-wave pullback. As you can see, this is correlation now. There's correlation between these two pairs. Chief has made, Euro has made a 1, 2, 3 back. It is now only at the 618. This one has made a 1, 2, 3 back, but this impulse has broken. See here, this one has not broken, so expect this to come back here and break. Okay, so we still bearish EURJPY. So you cannot be a waiver as well if you do not understand correlations as well. Right? So we've got special seminars for correlation in our group, as well as special seminars on indicators. Right, so we use indicators to identify the end of cycles, beginning of cycles, and sequences, those kind of things. All right, that's EURJPY. Let's go back to one chart. Do the rest of the year in pairs. Audi. As I said, I do not like, you can see, same structure. Nothing much to take home about on this yen pairs. You've got an impulse. An impulse doesn't mean anything until you get a correction. So wait for a correction or an impulse from here. Okay. So I'm gonna have to wait for the yens to give me direction in the week ahead. Let's just go to the daily on this one. Okay. So initially we looked at this as a 1, 2, 3, and then now we're getting a 1, 2, 3 wave pullback. So if this is the 3-wave pullback, then you will get another 3 waves to the upside. Okay, but for now you need to wait to see if we get any kind of reversal here. Okay, that's Audi, New Zealand, same, that 3-wave pullback. It's actually on the daily here. Let's go 4 hour. Three-wave pullback, impulsive move down. So next stop is this one here until we see what happens here. If we get a sharp impulse back and a correction, we are reversing. But we've already seen a pair that is broken to the downside. Okay. So now we're gonna do all the pound pairs now. I'm not gonna do the rest of the yens. Okay, the CAD they're all doing the same thing, and I'm not really interested in trading them. You can see this one is broken. This is CAD. It has broken, so it means this previous low has been broken. So you need to wait for a correction for continuation to the downside. So all yen pairs are still showing signs of downside, at least for the next week. All right. So interesting here on the pound pairs. Let's do this here. Before we start with the pound pairs, I want to show you what the guys in our group are doing. They're doing some impressive stuff. Look at this pound New Zealand. I actually discussed this for the last couple of weeks. I'm gonna pull up a chart from one of the guys in our group. Look how this is playing out. So you see the guys that have learned see the charts the way I see it. So this is a guy in our group. I don't know if you can see the name, but it doesn't really matter. Right, so you can see that he was focusing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move here, a move back up, and this correction here. Look where he was buying. So this was posted in the group, in the mentorship group for everyone. So this is the move that we wanted here to the upside. Okay, this is not me. Just to show you what happens to you when you've been trained. This guy attended our training last year in April, and I remember he had no clue what wave theory was. But now, the stuff that he sends, it's amazing. That's what happens when you put in the time. So I want you to look at this chart and remember, take a snapshot and remember. So because I'm gonna go into the chart and show you what happened after this chart was posted. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the chart. This is the chart. Okay, obviously my chart has got different, it's got a different background and everything, but I'm gonna show you where he was. This is where he was, this correction, and he was buying here. And that's the nice thing about being in the group. All these pairs are shared amongst everyone. Everybody sees this stuff. Okay, so what did we say? We said we're looking at this structure like this, and I'm gonna show you why. Not just why we bought, not just what. I'm going to show you why we bought as well, the whole structure and why we're looking at it like this, and where we want it to go. Because I've had questions like euro US dollar is going down, pound is going up. That doesn't mean anything. If it's going down where? Where is it coming from? Where is it going to stop? No, you need to ask those questions. Going down doesn't mean anything. It's going down here, but it went back up. Okay, so this is where we bought, and you can see, as per the previous chart I've shown you from the Telegram chat, this is already 341 pips. Actually, let me show you this. Let's measure that from here. 341 pips from here. 341 pips. Okay. So where are we going? I'm going to show you something very interesting in terms of correlation. So you've got this one. It's actually going to be a WXY here, because this is a three-wave move, and then we're expecting this to be another three-wave move. Why do we want it to be a three-wave move? Some will call this okay, there's no clear head and shoulders. Some head and shoulder traders. So I understand head and shoulders because I've traded it before and I know the flaws. So what are we looking at? We are looking for this to come and take this top here. It looks very far, right? But I'll show you a structure that we thought was taking the top was too far. Let's measure how far that still has to go. That's 350 pips in now. Let's just erase this one. That's 350 pips in now. We still want this to go from here for another 528. And you'll think this is far. Let me show you a pair that we thought was that we thought taking the top was too far, and it actually do it quite quickly. EURCAD. Let me go daily on EURCAD. This is the one that I traded. I think I closed this one last week. Let's go daily, EURCAD. You see how far EURCAD went. Why did I want EURCAD to take the top? Because I wanted it to follow the exact same structure. Let's do this here. You'll see the similarity in the structures. Pound New Zealand. Let's get all this stuff in here. So you see here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It has now tagged the top. This has moved over 800 pips in this leg. What do we want now? We want it to come back down. And if it comes back down, it's a flat correction, and we're going to get a big move to the downside. And this move is over 1,000 pips as well. Okay, so let's look back onto our pair here and see the structure that we are looking for here as well. So you see here that we're looking at exactly the same thing. It's just that this one has not reached yet. This is 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3 as well. We want it to come back up here. So what are we going to do? Every corrective structure that we find, we are just going to keep buying. Every corrective structure, we're going to keep buying. This is over 800 pips that we still need to go up. But this does not go in a straight line. You need to know, time your entries. If you don't have a strategy, if you don't understand what we're doing, you won't know when to enter these trades. You can see this is clear structures, exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 up. Okay, so even here we'd expect this to come back down and come back and go back up. Okay, right, so let's look at pound and pound AUD. And pound AUD on this side here. Let's do pound AUD. That's not actually the one I want to look at. Right, so that's pound New Zealand. Let's do pound CAD now. So pound CAD on the daily. So pound CAD, I was saying the same thing I was saying on EUROCAD, that I wanted to go and take the top. For the last couple of weeks, we had this structure, and whenever this gave us this correction, we kept buying. Whenever we get corrections like that, we kept buying, and I said this was the target. This is where I took profits. Okay, so now what happens when it has broken here? This is why I want to show you how important wave theory is in understanding structures and fractals and sequences. How important that is, because you don't just look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in XY. That's only 10% of the wave theory. Okay, so here you've got 1, 2, you've got 3. This has broken. Now what? Is it going? Because it has broken, is it gonna go? No. We've seen a case where it has broken significantly and it still came down. When did we see that? We saw it here. Look at this structure. 1, 2, 3, it breaks. And when everybody now gives up, I remember I posted this last year. This was last year when I said, wait for this. When it takes the top, we are going to reverse. And now it takes the top, and everybody was panicking and saying this analysis doesn't work. It has taken the top, and now it's breaking. It's going. Now we want to buy. Support and resistance traders. It has broken the significant level. Now we're buying. You buy, and then it comes back down. So this is not the type of pair that you want to buy. It has broken up significantly, so there's still a very high possibility. See, there was no sign of this thing reversing. There's still a possibility for this to come back with this structure. Okay, not all the way down, as you can see, come back down. But this structure is not one of those impulsive ones. It's not going to be fast, similar to this one not being fast. Okay, so it will come back around the 78. So you can see here, there's an advanced pattern here. There's an advanced pattern here. When this was appealing out here, there it is. I've put it up here. On the 78, it reversed. Okay. So that's how you work with correlations. So pound CAD, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for a reversal. If you get one, if you get any sign of a reversal, an impulsive move down. Let's look at if we have any divergence. Yes, we do have divergence. These are some of the indicators which we use to forecast end and beginning of cycles. So we do have divergence. Let's go back to one chart. So one chart, and we do pound AUD alone now. Let's do pound AUD. Switch everything off. All right, so pound AUD is the one that we were showing the correlation. Pound AUD came back up to this level, broke this top, came back up, and now it has broken this top. If we get this correction here, pound AUD, like all the other pound pairs, will still give us a strong move to the upside. So we're gonna wait and see what happens here. Okay. Any correction, it's gonna be an indication of a move up. Otherwise, an impulsive move down. Let's do this. An impulsive move down is not even a good one, because we've got an impulse here. We don't have, if it's going to be a three-wave, this is not going to qualify to be an expanding flat. It's already out. So look for correction here, at least to complete this move first. This move, 1, 2, 3, up to that level. Okay, After that, you're going to get another 3-wave pullback. So that's what you're going to be looking at on pound AUD. Pound New Zealand, we've done pound CAD, we've done pound CHF. Very interesting. So with all the CHF pairs, this is what you're going to look at. I'm going to do all the CHF pairs. You look at this. You see here, we had this ending diagonal here. It breaks to the downside. I need to do this on the 4-hour. Let's do this on the 4-hour. So with all the CHF pairs, it's exactly the same structure. All right. This is what you have here. You have ending diagonal there, ending diagonal doing that. So when this ending diagonal breaks to the downside, now everybody who trades these wedges will be thinking that this is going to go all the way down. But we know, because we understand and we watch all the pairs, right? So we've got this move down, we're getting this move. The next move is going to be to retest this top with this sharp move. Why do I want to retest this top? Because it has happened before. I've seen it before. I've seen a lot of this move before. Let's compare. Let's compare AUDCAD. You see, these structures just repeat themselves. You're just trading one thing over and over again. Okay, so AUDCAD, I'm going to go to the daily, and you'll see that different time frames repeat themselves. Okay, so this was AUDCAD on the daily. Which one was I looking at? Which CHF pair was I looking at? I was looking at pound CHF. Okay, pound CHF. Pound CHF. Right. Let's compare. Why does this keep going now? Excuse me, let's do this. I want pound CHF there. AUDCAD actually. AUDCAD. And I don't want to see any of this. Right, there we go. So look at AUDCAD. This is the nice thing about this. You find that it's a pair that has already completed a move that you've already seen before. Similarly here, AUDCAD, can you see that you had this leading diagonal here? The leading diagonal on CHF, what does it do? It breaks to the downside. What does it do after breaking to the downside? It goes back and retests the top. Same here, you've got a leading diagonal, ending diagonal actually, on pound CHF. How do you have? You get this leading diagonal breaking downside. What do you want to happen? That's what I said last week. Every continuation structure, keep buying it. So you're gonna go test the top, you're gonna come back down, you're gonna go. Same here, you've tested the top, you came back down. This one is already completed. So what we're doing on the left has already happened on the right. So we're gonna look for this move to do that. And all of that will just be an A, B, C move with a flat correction in the middle. Simple. All you need is training, not to read the stuff on the internet. Okay? Similar. So we're trading what we've seen before. That's why you will trade with confidence. So those are the pound pairs. So I think I'm going to go to the euros now. EURCAD. Let's go back to one chart. EURCAD. Let's do EURCAD. Where's EURCAD? So this is the one that I was showing you that you should take the top, which has now happened. So now we're at a critical area, which is here. Okay, we had that 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What is going to happen now? We will expect that we're gonna either have this move down or, and what they do is, after doing this, because now you know that after taking it usually reverses, what they will do is they'll keep doing this here. They'll keep giving you a correction, give you a push higher. We've seen it before it starts going down. And between this and that, you get divergence, only then it drops. But while you're busy selling here, so they can't push the price high to just come and drop it quickly like that. They need to accumulate here. They need to get an accumulation, and they need to throw some people off. Okay, so the EURCAD, you need to wait for that. So let's see comparison between EURCAD and Euro New Zealand. Let's see Euro New Zealand. Okay, so Euro New Zealand, as you can see. So you see Euro New Zealand on the daily. We already had a 1, we had a 2, we had this one. So here possibilities are that you're going to have this one. Coming back to retest, you see, that is just going to be copying this move. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? This is, as you can see, this is not wave theory alone. Okay, it's a lot of things that you need to learn. This will give you a possible regular flat, a possible regular flat, only that this one has already completed. This one still has a move up and a move down. You've seen so many times. So Euro New Zealand is the one that you need to look at now because it's not there yet. So we've got this almost running flat looking here. If you get a correction here on Euro New Zealand, keep buying it because you're going to retest that top as well. Keep buying it. You're going to retest this top, which is over. Say, for example, you get a flag there, still 400 pips away. Right, so EUROCHF. So I said all the chief pairs, same structure, if you remember. I'm gonna go back to one chart now. EUROCHF, can you see? What did I say about all the chief pairs doing exactly the same thing, right? So what do you expect? You expect a move down, you expect this to come and retest here. So if there's a better trade for the next week in this slow market, you're getting a buy setup here to come and test this top. So you must just be careful that this is very close, but this is a daily, so this may be about 200 pips. I'm gonna go into the lower time frame. So you'll expect that to test and then go back up like the rest of the chief pairs. Let's do that to 4 hour. As you can see, we actually bought this after the analysis 3 weeks ago to get this. So now you're getting this one here. You're getting this flag here. Right, so when this breaks to the upside, buy it up to this level. Let's check how many pips that is. That is your trade for next week. It's a short one, but it's a very good one. So when it breaks to the top upside, you buy this for 100 pips. It's not too bad. So we've done EURAUD. Have I done EURAUD? Yes, EURAUD is the one that I posted on YouTube, a trade here last week. Looking at this one correction, 2 correction. So I remember we were having a very constructive conversation about this pair, and I said that my 1 on this piece starts here, and this is my 2, and from there I'm getting a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So somebody posted me, sent me a chat saying that the account is showing them that the analysis has ended here. So I said, why do you say it has ended there? And they said, did you label? And I asked if you labeled your correction. And he said, if I couldn't see the correction clearly in the lower time frame, I went to the higher degree. So you don't do it like that. You start from the higher degree coming down. And if you do not label the correction and you ignore it because you don't understand it, then you're not doing it right. So if you don't understand it, study it and understand it, right? So it was a very constructive conversation. I'm not saying it in a bad way. So it's important to focus. So what did we look at? We said this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we wanted was this red to come here and do this. So as you can see that this red only went up as far as this spike here. And we looked at that as a truncation on this wave. So that's why we had this one here. So now what does this structure look like? Look like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here with the truncated one. And all of this now, let's go back. All of this now, see now you've got a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even though the internal of this one has got a truncation, then you're getting an A, getting a B, probably a C before you go up. Okay, we've got good reason to keep buying this corrective structure on EURAUD because we know that EURAUD still has a long way to go to the upside. Okay, so we're still looking for EURAUD. So one of my group members has just posted this, and this is the nice thing about having a community of traders trading the same thing. This is the reason why he posted something like this, and it makes so much sense. He posted something like this, actually this last night at 10 o'clock. We've got very good guys in the group. So if you've got something like that, we're looking at that as an A, B, C, okay? So that's why we're still gonna keep buying this all the way up to that level. That's over 1,000 pips away still. Right, so we're gonna keep buying this, okay? Clear. All right, so let's look at some CAD pairs, and I'm gonna start with New Zealand CAD. Let's look at New Zealand CAD. And look at some CAD pairs here, New Zealand CAD. So the reason why I want to start with New Zealand CAD is because they do something very interesting to put you off every single time. And we are on the daily here. We are on the daily. So look where we closed today. You've got this, candle traders will tell you a bearish engulfing candle, right? Bearish engulfing candle. Last week, Friday, I showed you this. This is where the market closed, and when we were doing analysis, this was before we had these green candles to the upside. I said this does not mean anything because we know that the sequence is up. Look what they did. I'm not saying that it's going to go up again, but this is exactly what they did again. 3 weeks back, exactly that. You had this candle down, and we said this candle down doesn't mean anything. The sequence is up. So you need to understand when you've got the sequence, you focus more on the sequence than the personality of the waves, right? So even here, this was a Friday as well. Market closes here, okay? So you need to understand the sequence, and this is one of those charts, if I go to the weekly, that if you want to be a waver, you need to be able to analyze. Look at that one, look at this one. So if you cannot label this, you won't be able to label it because most of people only understand labeling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this pair. Right, so here you've got this running flat looking pair here. I'm just doing the highlight here, 1, 2, 3. So this is why we bought it here, because it completed this running flat, and we've got this. That's why we keep buying this here. We keep buying every time it gives us a corrective structure or a pullback. We keep buying it, and soon we're getting this. This is that move. Soon you're gonna get this move. So when we get that move, either we're gonna trade it down or we're gonna wait for it to continue with the move up. So what we're essentially waiting for is this move to happen here. See, so you see we've got a long-term bullish move. So you see here, whenever it corrects, it's just continuation. Whenever it corrects, we know these structures. Whenever it corrects, we keep buying it. So same thing here. That's going to happen for a whole year or a couple of years actually. Okay, that's New Zealand CAD, AUDCAD. Let's look at AUDCAD. So AUDCAD has got a very easy structure for waivers. 1, 2, 3, and now you're getting this one here. Okay, so you get this correction, now you're getting this one here. So you need to see what happens when it gets to this level. Because if it gets to that level, you may get, actually this is, let me just focus on this piece here. You've got impulse down, you've got impulse up, and a correction. You're getting an impulse up, so you need to get another one down before you get another one up. So when this takes the top here, there's a very high likelihood that it will reverse first before it goes and takes the top over there. Okay. All right, so that's all in New Zealand, the CAD pairs. I'm gonna go to the indices before I do the cryptocurrencies. Oh, oil first. Let's do oil first. Oh, we're already on the weekly, so oil, easy to trade. We've got a big impulsive move from the swing high to the swing low here. Impulse correction, which is a running flat there. 1, 2, 3. Now we're getting up here. We went up with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which we'll see clearly when we go to the lower time frame. And after that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're getting a textbook A, B, C. Right. So you see, this is the one that you need to label as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because it complies to all the rules. So said, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will take you a whole. We take the whole day just looking at impulsive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So I'm going to look at the last piece here. That ABC that we're looking at now. This is your A. This B could start as something like this with a complex one, like that. That could do that. Maybe retest there, come back down, and then it goes. Or it may not go there first. It will just do this 1, 2, come back here first. Then it tests, retests. You see, a lot of things can happen before it goes. So that's why you need to anticipate all these possibilities when you're within the correction. So anything can happen within the correction. But when this is done and we are here, this move will only go one way and one way only. The original direction of the trend. Okay. So for now, keep an eye onto this one and look to buy it to that level. Okay. That's oil. Looking at some S&P 500 indices now. So the indices, I'm gonna look, had a big impulsive move down, starting the correction, right? So we've got this parabolic move. This move has been coming from way back, right? So this is a big correction. So all the indices have got have got the same structure. All of them have just got this parabolic move, as you can see. They never stop. So whenever you get a deeper correction like what you're getting now, that's an opportunity to enter. Okay, you can see that you're entering here. Whenever you get these deep ones, they don't come so often. This was a big one. It's a 1, 2, 3 flat correction. This was a nice one to enter. This was a nice place to enter. Nice place to enter. So it's just one parabolic move to the upside. So now we've got a big one. It's an opportunity to enter. So we've got a move down. So we need to figure out when this correction is going to end. We've got an impulse move down. Now we're getting 1, 2. Are we going to get this as a move here, then come back up and down, and then we go? If it does that, then it's a very good one, because when it takes that bottom here, you're going to wait for it to correct here and take the trade up. Or whether this is giving you a correction here that is going to go and retest in this one move, right? When it retests here, there's possibility that it will come back down, go back up, okay? So those are the things that you need to wait for. This looks corrective. This looks corrective. So that's why I'm expecting that this will come back to the stop. The NASDAQ is already at all-time highs. Let's look at the NASDAQ. It's loading the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ composite here. The NASDAQ is already at, this was the previous high. Like the rest of the indices, we got this one. It's making a 1, 2, 3 wave, but here it's making a corrective structure, which means that this may be a continuation to the upside, and this may have been all the correction without it coming back down and going up. So for the NASDAQ, you need to wait for all this, for all of them, NASDAQ and the SPY. see if this is a corrective structure. If it's a corrective structure, you know that you're going to get continuation to the upside. Nice thing about this one, if it corrects here after breaking the top, then it's going. It's continuation to the upside. Then that would have been all the correction here. Okay. NASDAQ SPY. Somebody last week requested the Nikkei, and I could not do it because of time, so I'm going to do the Nikkei today. So the Nikkei, similar. You are getting a correction here. We had an impulsive move down. You had a 1, you got a 2, you're getting this one. So if this is a corrective structure here, you're going to target this area first. Okay. So that's what you're going to look at on the Nikkei in the next week. All right, so let's do the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, so I've shown you this structure over and over. The parabolic move up to the almost 20,000 towards the end of 2017. After that, you've just been getting a 1, 2, 3, and now you're getting this pullback here. So there's a possibility here that there's an advanced pattern. Let me show you the advanced pattern. There's an advanced pattern of which it's a bad pattern of which the 88 area is at 6489, about around 6500. So around 6500, start looking for upside here. So let's clear and go to the 4-hour and just look at the last piece. So Bitcoin looks like it wants to make a move up. So around the completion of the Gatli, look for an impulsive move up when it comes down to this level, around the 6500 area. So we're still getting continuation to the downside. When it gives you an impulse and a correction, you're buying it for a move almost back to the 12,000 area. Okay, that's Bitcoin. Litecoin. Litecoin. Similar and another advanced pattern. The overall structure is the same. So you can see they're all making the same structures. So here, this one is also a bad pattern. So look for it around the 88, around 125 area. That's where the 88 is. Okay. So all of them will see what this combination gives us and tells us when to buy. Right. So the sequence, as you can see here, has already started going up. This is coming. Let me just switch off there. This is coming down, as you can see, but this has already started an up move, the RSI, right? That's Litecoins. You look at it like that. Ethereum. So this one, we're looking at this advanced pattern as well. It has already broken. So don't be surprised if the others also come and break. But breaking here does not mean anything. It can still reverse and give you this structure before it continues down here. Let's just do that. So this can still reverse. As the market does not go in a straight line, you'll wait for any indication of reversal. And I'm sure there's a strong divergence here. As you can see, this one has already started a move up. Has already started a move to the upside. Okay, while this is making lower lows. Okay, so let's see how that one plays out. So breaking this top does not mean anything. Okay, it will mean something if we get a correction below that one, below that area. That's Ethereum. Ripple. Right, so Ripple, you can see this one is also coming down to break the bottom here, this low. So 1, 2, 3, if it breaks it, possibility for it to come back up to that level. Maybe for an even continuation back to the downside. So for now, we're looking for these cryptocurrencies to reverse back to these areas. Okay, so that's how we're looking at all of them. Thank you very much. That's all I wanted to discuss. If there's any pair that you feel you wanted that I didn't cover, see, there's been a lot of activity on the chat box. Unfortunately, I could not see it. I'm using only one monitor today. Pound CAD already done. Thank you guys for attending. I'm going to stop the recordings on both sides. And if anybody wants to stay on and ask any questions, oh, Pound JPY, thanks for that one. Thanks for that one. So let's do Pound JPY. I don't know how I missed Pound JPY. Let's do Pound JPY. Okay, Pound JPY. Look at the 4 hour. So this was the last high on Pound JPY. We had a very strong move like that. This 1, 2, 3, pull back, and another move down. So what does it do? It moves, it pulls back with a 3-wave move like that. So now what we could expect here from Pound JPY is that it could give us this move like this, back here, back there, and gives us this flat correction for a continuation move to the downside. Okay? Or I doubt though that this is all the correction. So this must be big because it's correcting the whole move. This one is small because it's only correcting this move. Right, so this may still be like this. It may still give us this big one. If it's big like that, then it's gonna go like that. All of that will just be a larger correction. And you can see that these double corrections there. So if it's a double correction, it's simply WXY there for another move down. So when it gives us this one, a bigger one, it's even better because we know that the move down is going to be similar to this move down. So that's Pound JPY. All right, so let me check if there's anything I missed on the chat box. Are you happy, D Hill, with Pound JPY? You guys are welcome. I'm going to stop the recording here now. Thank you for attending. Good luck in the week ahead. I hope you make a lot of money. Cheers. Bye-bye.